Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is part 8. For this part, I have a 5-in-1 deal for you, although it's going to feel more like a 2-in-1 deal. Here are 5 Wheel of Fortune electronic games that were released in the first half of the 2000s. Here's Wheel of Fortune Classic. Here's the Wheel of Fortune 20th Anniversary Edition. And for this one, this wasn't even released by Tiger Electronics, but rather Parker Brothers. This is the 2005 second edition. Here's the packaging. And then here is the travel game from 2001. And here's the Wheel of Fortune Pocket game released back in 2003. So I'm going to start with these 3 games first. The reason why I'm going to show all 3 games, but really not have much to say about each edition, really because it's virtually the same game. These 3 games are really just a dumbed down version of the deluxe edition with the controls, with the same button layout as the 1996 game, the original 1996 game. So basically, in general, here's how the game works. If you take a look at the screen, it's very similar to the deluxe edition. However, Tiger reverted it to having a decorative wheel layout rather than use a more proper wheel label like they did for the deluxe game. So, and it can be a rather nasty headache as well. You press the spin button, the dot's going to move clockwise around the board, stopping on a segment. After it's done, the screen is going to show you how much the segment is worth. So you really won't know what you landed on until after the dot comes to a stop. Now, if you thought that was even more of a headache, there have been times where the segments would shift from spin to spin. So one spin, the next one segment could be worth $300. The next spin, it could be a lose a turn. So I certainly would not recommend getting any of these 3 games. You're certainly better off getting another one of Tiger's games. They could have done a better job on this. But if you ask me, if you're going to get any one of these 3 games, I certainly recommend getting this one, because unlike the other 2, this has a cartridge slot on the back. Now, it does take more batteries. This one does take 4 AAA batteries. Let's take a look here. Yeah, 4 AAAs. These 2, on the other hand, take only 2 AAA batteries. Now, that's not the only difference between the 3 games, of course. The most obvious difference is the wheel label. For this one, the second edition, the decorative label is very different from these 2. But then of course you have some other differences. So to differentiate between these two games, like I said, cartridge slot, no cartridge slot, and then you have the Tiger logo, which was their old logo, and then this one has an updated logo. In addition, the letter keyboard layout is the same in this game, while the one here is alphabetized, and same story for the second edition. So like I said, these games can be quite a headache when spinning. These two, on the other hand, are much more fast-paced and I think a little bit more fun to play, in my opinion. Here is the travel game. I also call it the keychain game because it's like a keychain. And here's the pocket game. Now, I remember trying to get my hands. I remember trying to find my hands on this was quite a struggle. So let's open it up. You'll see a screen. And now this is a game that is really text-based. There will be no graphics of the wheel spinning or anything. It's basically the same as playing one of those old text-based games on way back when on a computer operating system. But I'll show you the controls. The controls are you have spin, buy a vowel, solve the puzzle, and then you have scroll. When you turn the game on, you have the on and off button, you have the enter button, you have a reset button. For this game, it was released in an updated ergonomic shape. So on and off. Here's the 4 buttons that are the same as the travel one. There's your reset button. And the enter button, very easy to press. So when you spin the wheel, the dollar values, believe it or not, are actually the same as the original 1996 game. Only the $100 space and $250 spaces are replaced by $1,000 and $2,000. Essentially making these two games one of the very few to have $2,000 as a playable value. But when you, like I said, when you press the spin button, what it does, it has stars flashing across the screen, similar to Tiger's Jr. game from 2000, only they move much more quickly before they show the value that you're playing for. So the values that are active throughout the game, just to recap, like I said, in the 1996 game, you have 100, you have bankrupt, you have 750, you have 2500, you have 400, you have 500, you have lose a turn, 600, 5,000, 250, free spin, and $300. Again, the 100 and 250 are replaced by $1,000 and $2,000. So, as a result, for the values that are active in round 1 are $300, $400, $500, $600, $750, $1,000, and $2,000. And then you have bankrupt, you have lose a turn, and you have free spin. As in most previous Tiger adaptions, you get a free spin. If you land on free spin, you have to call a letter to obtain it. And once you get it, it will protect you from going bankrupt or losing your turn when spinning. But it will only help, it'll only help you the round you obtained it in, as well as only against an incorrect letter. After that, you're pretty much on your own until you spin it up again. But they are available all 3 rounds of the game. Now, round 2 adds a $2,500 space to the list of values you can spin up. Round 3, in addition to $2,500, you have $5,000 as well. Now, my personal experience with getting these 3 games, I got this one back in August of 2005. I saw it at a Walmart, decided to buy it. As for this one and this one, I got them off of eBay last year. Now, I remember trying to get my hands on the Keychain game back in 2001, early 2002. I was looking virtually everywhere I could look for this game, and I just couldn't find it. Finally, one day back in early 2002, I was at a toy store in this one shopping mall in this one suburb of Chicago. I think it was Berwyn. And as I was looking through just a bunch of electronic toys, I remember seeing this one handheld LCD game of roulette. Interestingly enough, compared to, I found it pretty interesting considering that the wheel used on Wheel of Fortune has been referred to as a roulette wheel. So I decided to take the roulette game off the shelf just to have a look at it, and lo and behold, I saw this Keychain game. I was like, I've been looking for this thing for months. Finally, I found it. And I remember playing it until I could play no more. It got to the point where I played it so much, it just wouldn't work. Batteries wouldn't work, and ultimately I had to trash this poor thing. But last year, I managed to find another one of these going on eBay. These are pretty rare. So I feel very fortunate to have gotten one of these as on eBay, completely new and packaged. As for the Pocket game, I got this back in the holiday season of 2004, and I knew the controls were going to be, the game was pretty much going to be the same as this. Now, whether or not it has different puzzles, I'm not exactly certain, but I wouldn't be surprised either way if it had the same puzzles as this or not. So, while these games may be as exciting at first, once you start playing them and see how fast this is, you'll actually find these much more exciting than these, at least in my opinion. In fact, someone over at Instagram, I've been putting a lot of pictures of this game over at Instagram ever since getting it, and this one person actually said, "Oh man, this one person who follows me over there at Instagram, he says, wow, that kind of looks like a Tamagotchi game," and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it certainly does look like it. Wheel of Fortune Tamagotchi Edition. Maybe that's what I should nickname it. But like I said, I really think these two games are a little bit more exciting to play than these three. Like I said, while there's nothing really good to indicate what you landed on in any of these three games, the next game I'm going to show you will be very similar to these, when it comes to spinning the wheel. It's going to be very similar to these, only you will know exactly what each space is worth. So I will see you tomorrow in part 9.